Yeah.
Again, going to the Lord's watchmen, what are we watching for? Prophecy. And going to speaking up for our people, we're telling you what to avoid and what to run and hide from so that you can avoid punishment. Because Yahweh Shai, contrary to popular belief, which a lot of you don't understand the true nature of our power, he's a very angry and vengeful God, man. He's a very jealous power. And he's been holding his peace, right? Refraining himself, going into ultimate Yahweh Shai, right? Because he's under orders of the Heavenly Father, that he can only come when he gets that green light, so to say. But when the Lord returns, you're going to be pissed off, man. And again, to you that are trying to hide your iniquity, right? To try to blend in, the Lord sees you, man. It's good to say, though, hands on the hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, man.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 29 and verse 13. Wherefore the Lord said, for as much as this people draw near.
29 and 15.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, Isaiah 29 and 15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us, and who knoweth us?
Yep, they try to use the cloak of darkness, or ultimately just being not seen, as a way to forward their agenda. And for Esau, Edom's sake, it has worked, man. Because ultimately that's how the Lord operates. It's going to say that sure, he's a power that hideth himself. He only reveals himself to ultimately those who are worthy. Gives the secrets unto those that are ultimately sent from him. Going to those that fear him, the servants of Yahweh Shai, the prophets. But again, going to how this devil operates, he cloaks his agenda with confusion, man. While you're worried about your neighbor or worried about somebody because of their political views, giving these labels of black, Latino, Hispanic. He does that so that his mission, his agenda goes unimpeded, and that's where that pride comes from. Who seeth us? Because you people are missing the bigger picture, man. What this devil's trying to do. You're watching over there, Iran getting bombed, and you're marching for all this ICE stuff, right? You're missing the point of why this is actually happening. He's using this event, Order of KO, to oppress you more, man. It's pretty much 2001 all over again, man. It's 2003 all over again, the war on terror. And what they're going to do is they're going to introduce more wicked decrees, right? Another Patriot Act, to where now it's mass surveillance, right? To where he's ultimately pushing that agenda of the NWO, man, the elites, But the Lord said, woe to them that seek deep to hide that counsel, because guess what? His man's being made bare. Someone probably grabbed that in Jeremiah, 49th chapter. Esau being made bare, all his wisdom, his left-hand wisdom, his deception, his witchcraft, his illusionary acts, right? You're worried about the tail, and he's the dog, You get people chasing headlines, Again, as that's happening, he's pushing his agenda, man. Right? The Lord sees it all, man.
142.
Okay, go ahead.
This is Jeremiah 49 and 10. It says, after this one.
Okay.
Whatever. It says, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself.
Yep.
His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not.
Yep, so again, being made bare, meaning being laid open, man.
Yep.
Everything is naked before the eyes of Yahweh Shai, man. I think that's in Hebrews 4. Grab that real quick, Hebrews 4 and 13, I think. There's no creature that can hide itself from the Lord, man. Got it?
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 13. Neither is there any creature that is not manifest in his sight.
Exactly what?
But all things are naked and open unto the eyes of him with whom we have to do.
Exactly. So everything is laid open. It's bare. The Lord can see through it all, man. As it says in Sirach 10 chapter. That's Sirach 10. Is it Sirach? How the Lord 10,000 times brighter than the sun?
3 and 19.
Okay, yeah, grab that. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men. Right? How does the Lord behold all the ways of men? The angels, man.
Right.
The messengers going to and fro, and guess what? You don't see them.
This is Ecclesiasticus Sirach, chapter 23, verse 19.
There's another one down too.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts.
Yep, and you go into getting the sun, you can't stare at one sun.
Right.
So imagine 10,000 suns, right? Just meaning ultimately the Lord is, again, he can see everything, man. All knowing, all powerful, you know, all present.
Yeah.
Because why? Because again, Yahweh Shai alone, man, is the judge, man. You know? So again, you fear in the eyes of men. Oh, can you see me? I'm hiding and worried about cameras, you know? Doing stuff underground, right? How these elites, they go into the middle of the woods in California, you know, going to worshiping Molech, you know? The bread, what's it called?
Bohemian.
Bohemian Grove.
Yeah.
You know? All this stuff is being found out, man. You going into these prestigious schools and they got these weirdo parts of the school that's goes into them secret societies, man.
Yep.
Skull and bones and all that, man. You got something for it?
Hey, real fast, where they don't teach. Like a couple of weeks ago, we had brought it out where they don't teach their children what you're being taught.
Yeah.
You know, they're teaching them a ruling class mentality, man.
Yep, hidden wisdom.
Yeah.
The left-hand side, man. That's a different type of curriculum, and you have to ultimately be worthy, man.
Yep.
You know, the everyday so-called Edomite, he don't understand that because he hasn't been put on game, man. His ultimately goes into the elite, the ruling class of this devil who's in power, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
This is Psalm 64 and 5. They encourage themselves in the evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately.
Yep.
They say, who shall see them?
Yeah, because a trap that's hidden is more effective. Imagine trying to trap a bird, you know, in a snare, right? Goes into a fowler. If he sees you putting a trap together, man.
Right.
I'm about to trap you. I'm like, you ready? It's not gonna work, man. It's in vain. So we have to lay them traps secretly or hidden, man. Subliminal. Think about watching these commercials. You're getting information put in you that you're not even aware of. I mean, you can't put your defenses up. All these colors. Here it is, I'm watching something on TV and I got this big ass bacon cheeseburger popping up on the screen. That's witchcraft, man. Your mouth start watering and stuff, you know? And you're not really hungry, but this man is programming you, man, to buy his shit, man. You know? That's just a small example.
It's been a while since I had a cheeseburger.
Right. So the stuff that you see, it's because he wants you to see it, man.
Yep.
You know? The stuff he don't want you to see is stuff that we're bringing out, man, through the spirit. Right? But the poor man words they're not heard, man. They're heard in secret. The rich man, he speaks, oh man, we heard about so-and-so, what he said, you know,
right.
What's the bald nigga, light skinned, he was the Tristan brothers, Tate brothers. You know? Is it Tate?
Andrew Tate, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Talking about the Matrix and all that stuff. You're like, ooh. You know? But again, the power's been warning you about this secret
Right.
council, man. You know? And it gets more deeper than what they try to tell you, man. Because they still playing the game. They're rich as hell. They're not worried about this devil coming down. Because they got all the things they want in life, man.
Got one for you.
Yep.
This is Micah 2:1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
Mm-hmm.
When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand.
Yep, so they're professional demons.
Mm-hmm.
That's their occupation, is to bring hell upon the earth. Remember about the red horse. The
Yep.
red horse came on earth to take peace from it, man. Who's that red horse? Esau. Why he goes into nations and he destabilizes them and puts in puppet leaders, you know? Because that's how he operates, man. He's not coming to bring no peace, you know? He comes with an agenda, and if you don't play ball, here comes missiles. Here comes psyops, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know? 'Cause that's how he operates, man.
Right.
He doesn't know any good.
Right.
Again, that's what he does. He does upon his bed. You just laying, you just daydreaming.
Yeah.
The most daydreaming
Yeah.
about is, you know, some female, you know, getting a nice little Corvette or something. Esau worried about completely dominating and
Right.
wickedness on the earth, man.
Yeah, Pinky in the Brain.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know? You could tell who was Jake and who was Esau. Esau was Brain. What was the other one? I forgot the other one's name. Huh?
Road running dude?
Nah, Pinky in the Brain.
Pinky in the brain.
Yeah. What was the other one's name?
Pinky.
His name-
Brain. Yeah.
Brain.
Brain
Brain
was
was
Esau.
big, yeah.
Brain was Esau and Pinky was Jake. Jake was always,
Docile.
yeah, you know. But what was his Brain's motto? Trying to rule the world.
Take over the world.
Take over the world.
Yeah. Yeah. So as soon as he wakes up, what's on his agenda? Causing some man to fall.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
From as soon as the sun cracks, which they be up at night drinking blood and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But you having something about it?
Oh yeah. This is Isaiah 47 says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, or daughter of Chaldeans.
Yep, dust is confusion. Because this devil, he delights himself as being the superior one. That's why he's called white. You know, he's pure. His way of thinking, his way of existence is the best way to be followed, man. You know? Which for a time the world fell for it, man. That's them stumbling and wandering after the beast, man. His philosophies, you know, his science so-called, you know, his democracy. Let's frame our society around how he operates, man. Because why? Because that's what it looks like he's doing the right thing, man.
Yeah.
Even himself, it says in Psalm 50th chapter, the Lord kept silent. He thought that he was altogether with him, man. But it's because that sentence is being prolonged so that when the judgment comes, it's going to be that much more severe and crucial, man. That's why the Lord told us not to envy the oppressor in his ways. Because the way of the oppressor is going to be a bad case, man. Especially when the Lord gives his men power and we're going to get that get back, man.
Yeah. Plus, the scripture say, I don't know if we brought out earlier in Job, the triumph of the wicked is short.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, ain't no point, you know, trying to be like this man.
He's the biggest failure on earth, man. He's the only people on earth that's not gonna have no mercy. He's been rejected. That's the ultimate. He's a failure, man. Mr. Can't get right. That's why he's sold out. You know. That's why he treat the earth like dirt, because he know he's on borrowed time. You know. Think about a substitute teacher. He don't give a damn about the kids.
Right.
He's just trying to get a paycheck. He's the ultimate hireling, man. You know. And then when the Lord comes back, he's gonna see the condition of the earth. What he gonna do? He said he's gonna start with the high ones that are on high, man. He's gonna try your counsels. That's William Psalm 6th chapter, man. And he's gonna get you because why? Because the Lord gonna says the horrible is unrighteous generation, I'm paraphrasing. You know? This devil, man, it's off the chain, boy.
Isaiah 47:1. Come and sit down in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit down on the ground, there was no throne. Going back to Psalm 75, you know, the Lord set up down one and put up another. Yep. It says, there is no throne, O daughter of Chaldees. But
that's heavy. There's no throne because why? When you cry to your father, which at a time you can say you was an Israelite, but you got cut off. You said, "Oh Father, is there but one blessing for me?" There is no blessing, man. There is no throne. You know, you have it. You know, ultimately it's temporary. Right. You know, you're just holding the seat warm. You get up all this wealth, you know, and influence on the earth. All it's gonna do is be passed to the just, man. All this gold you're hoarding. Like as I was going to last week, you see gold, you just want to put it in a hole, man. Right. You know, in a safe. Now you're supposed to use gold. Gold gonna be paving our streets, man. Right. It ain't just for show. It's gonna be glorious, but there's a reason why, man. You know, because gold is a good conductor, all type of stuff, man. You know.
You give me eat, consume gold.
You can eat gold. Exactly.
Yeah. Isaiah 47:2. It says, take millstones and grind meal. Uncover the locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man.
Yep, the Lord ain't coming back to make friends. You know, his friends are, you know, those that fear him. Yep. You know, those that know his will, right? But again, going to the Lord coming out as a man, he's coming back as a power, because that's the universal language, is power. You know? You might not understand the same language, but you can punch somebody in the jaw and knock them out. Oh. Same with a car. You know a car is fast, it's about how it sounds, how it looks. You know, power is respected, man. Yep. You know? So when the Lord pull up, he's coming in a fashion that the world has never seen. Any movie you've seen, some kind of sci-fi alien invasion, not even gonna be close, man. And again, how the form of the Lord gonna come in, very stoic, very pissed off. You know, imagine his stature. He's gonna be on top of the chariot. Yeah. You know? Because why? Because again, you striven against the Lord. You know? You trying to make war against the man of war. Right. You know? You think the Lord is gonna sit around and hang around and let you get a pass? You know? The Lord is worried about other shit. No, man, you're trying to take that authority, man. Having the whole world call you God, man. You lost your damn mind. You know? But that's Esau's plan. And he's not the first. But he's definitely going to be the last people to think that on the earth, man, that they can overcome the Lord, man. Go ahead.
Yep. It says, verse 4, Isaiah 47:4, For our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou in silence and get thee into darkness, O daughter of Chaldees. For thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. Yep. I was wroth with my people. Yep. I have polluted my inheritance and given them into thy hand. thou didst show them no mercy.
Yep.
Upon the ancient has thou very heavily laid the yoke.
And that's what he does, man. He takes advantage.
Yep.
You know, as we, were sent over here for our punishment, Esau said, "Oh, this is my time to get back and get one over on you so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, man.
Oh.
And get my blessing back. I can finally supplanter. Seed of Jacob. Nope. Because again, what you're doing is ultimately to bite you in the ass, man. Putting your hand on the apple of the Lord's eye and putting a chip, which 2/3, they're gonna get their judgment for that. But you're not supposed to be claiming the Lord's servants, man. Because they don't belong to you, man. Change the creation, make everything on a CD drive, whatever the hell, on a chip. Some weird sci-fi, this stuff you see, again, it comes from somewhere, man.
Yep.
He wants the world to go that direction, man, so that he can be God forever. He gonna die. I was talking about Jeff Bezos. He want to live forever. What? Imagine if someone like that lived forever.
Right.
It said if it was for the elect's sake, no flesh should be saved, man.
Yep.
This man's gonna turn everybody to robots, and he's gonna be sending packages, on drones until this man, be a quadrillionaire, man.
Right.
And for what,
I got something for you. You spark verse 5.
Okay.
But I'm gonna start at the top.
Yes, sir.
This Ezekiel 35:1. Moreover, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Son of man, set thy face and prophesy against. I'm messing it up. Ezekiel 35:2 is the Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesied against it.
Yeah, so we're supposed to literally turn to Mount Seir. No, man. Those who dwell in Mount Seir. Who was in Mount Seir? Esau, man. Which he's a fugitive and a vagabond. This dude's always changing locations, man.
Yep.
He mingled himself among the seeds of men, right? But the Spirit of the Lord, again, is on you devils, man. Because the Lord, again, he sees you, man.
Yep.
You're not hiding from nobody. Again, that line of people is still here because they have a pending judgment that the Lord is about to put hands on them directly, man.
Right.
But
Verse 3, Ezekiel 35:3, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord power, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most successful.
Yep. So he did that back then.
Yep.
And then going to the land of Petra. Nobody lives there, man.
Right.
Right. We're gonna build back better. Right. When we build, take over Japheth. And call ourselves the Greeks. We're gonna call ourselves Romans. But again, the Lord said that covering cast is gonna be lifted, man. You can't hide, man. And again, everything you do, the Lord is gonna destroy because He's not with you, man. What?
Yep. Verse 4, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord.
So what a waste, man. All this energy and effort and wickedness just in 1 hour and 1 day for it to be gone. All your plots and plans you pass down generations and generations. Going to the line of the Bacon families, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, the line, continue on to this day, man.
Right.
To what? To now they're about to so-called fulfill that agenda for all that effort and energy to fall short. They know, man. They know, they have an impossible task. That's why they have bunkers and doomsday plans, man. To hide off and see if things can settle off and they can start over again. That's what he wants to do again. He failed then, and he's gonna fail again, man. But ain't no bouncing back this time, man. The Lord gonna grab a hold of that damn devil, man. That dragon, and cut all the heads off.
Right.
You coming downtown to enjoy yourself, all you hear is sirens and it's all type of BS homeless people. You walk past the corner, smell like ass and piss. But it's supposed to be the most glorious place on the planet, man. Right? Yeah. And again, going back to you're not going to be called a lady of kingdoms no more. Nobody's looking at so-called America as that glistening example upon earth, man. This place again is being more and more. The world's turned into that hatred, man. Towards America. And this is prophecy, man. You have more, bro?
Yeah. Here's a point, because you had sparked this. I forgot why you had said something to spark this. Verse 5, Ezekiel 35:5 says, Because thou hast perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity and the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Seest thou hast not hated blood, Even blood shall pursue thee.
Since you love blood so much, spilling blood, you know, these devils, they get off when they see blood spilling, man.
Yeah.
You know, the twisted, sick nature of this devil, man. You know, he loves seeing people suffer. You know, it goes into the sadistic.
Yep.
You know, he loves seeing people's misery and pain. That's just how he's programmed, man. He's a weirdo, right? So since you have not hated blood, spilling the blood of the Lord's chosen, blood gonna pursue you, man. Because why? You cursed yourself, man. Same way when Cain slew Abel, he cursed himself, man. And everywhere he went, he was gonna be cursed. All right. And again, this is the man who's in power. That same line came back in the spirit of Esau.
You know, it's funny. You know, with these like serial deleters.
Yeah.
You know, Esau wants to get into that mind of him.
Yeah.
What made you do it? Jake, you know, that nigga got demons. You know, he got problems. Get the sicko out of here.
Right.
But that just goes to show you how much Esau loves blood, man. Because he wants to add on to it.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yep. And it goes in ultimately to murder, man.
Yep.
You know? Again, what he did to the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, because he loves to see you fall, man. Again, that perpetual hatred. You know, you Jake still to this day trying to get this man to pass, man. This guy has never lifted off the gas. You might have thought you'd gotten off the chains, but dude, it's a way worse situation than you was in shackles and chains, man.
That's right.
At least you knew he was in captivity.
Yeah, I was Andrew Jackson. They didn't put his sword down for an hour, slaying Gad and Reuben. You know?
Yep. It's called the Indian killer.
Yep.
He said the only good Indian is a dead Indian.
Yep.
An Indian just means savage. You're not Indian.
Right.
You know, you're a Gadite, you're a Reubenite.
And the funny thing about it is, but they want to call us savages, but you came over here. We showed you how to survive and you slaughtered us, but we're the savages? Fuck you goddamn devils, man. Your whole fucking line. That's why the Lord's going to destroy your asses, man.
Yep. They had the nerve to call it manifest. And they thought, they're saying that God is okay with it, man. You know, that the Creator is on his side, you know, for doing what he did, man.
Yeah.
But the Lord said you hate instruction. What the hell? You know?
Yep.
But go ahead.
Yep. Last verse. It says verse. That was it.
Okay.
That was it. Yep.
Yep. So you got something?
Okay,
Yeah, whatever you got.
this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 32, and verse 5. The vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful.
Yep. The vile person shall be no more called liberal, meaning, why do you come to so-called America, you other nations? It's because, freedom. You know? Freedom from what? Freedom from keeping the ways of the Lord, man. You know, you can be GAY, you know, commit adultery, you can do the hell you want to, man, as long as you pay your fucking taxes, you know, here in so-called America, right? So now we're coming to a time where this man's not being called a liberal. He's putting you in more debt. He got the whole world in debt. He's a huckster, man. He tricked the whole world into power. And this condition that he's in now, with the condition you're in, is because of him, man. You know, he comes all diplomatic and all polite and, you know, sitting all high in them chairs. And then what does he got? He got a whole military behind him, getting ready to take your stuff, man.
Yep.
And you talking about what happened? Because, yeah, some of them leaders, that's on them too. They sold out to this devil, man. But I guess it goes into them wandering after the beast. They were tricked. And now they're figuring out, hey, man, this guy got to go, man. He's the issue. Them Jewish people, this man, Netanyahu, is nigga moving like a damn Caesar. I wonder who he is, man.
I don't know. That nigga's from Philly, though.
He's from Philly.
Yeah, he's from Philly.
Really?
Yeah, Mikowski, something like that.
He's probably some CIA agent. You got it.
Yeah.
But again, going to the Lord, someone higher has to come and do something about this. Because Esau, I mean, as much as you nation hate him, we hate him too. But what the hell we gonna do, man?
Right.
The Lord souped this guy up. He got technology that, bro, you wouldn't even be able to fathom. The mathematics and all the stuff that goes behind this crap.
Exactly.
You got robots being shoved. The elder put the video in the chat. Motherfucker bouncing up. What the fuck? And that's just something he's just playing around with, man. Because again, the technology he puts to the public is so he can make money off it. I mean, he already perfected it, man.
Yeah.
Same with the telephone. The reason why he got a phone now is because that was for military communications, man.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's added to where he can make money off of it, man.
Nextels and
That shit, yeah. He's been on that shit.
Yeah. I got something real quick. Because this was once talking about Jake, but it applies to Esau now. It's in Psalms 55 and 21, it says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
Yep.
His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawing swords.
Yep. Going back to that serpent.
Yep.
He's very subtle, very sneaky. Again, once you understand how this man works and operates, that's why you don't trust him. Because again, he has something up his sleeve. He's trying to disarm you with his words, flattery. Smoother than butter, meaning he's spitting, man.
Yeah.
He speaks a good game, man.
Yeah.
That's why, again, going back to Gad and Ruby, man, them contracts, man. Don't ever sign no paper with the devil, man.
Yep.
Because in that fine print, somewhere, somehow, it's going to have you in the worst condition. And anyways, you can just go like this.
Yep.
It's just a piece of paper. I got you.
And look, and that's why a lot of these what you call these NBA, NFL, their financial advisors.
Oh yeah.
A lot of them are small hats, man.
Oh yeah.
Or I'll read a contract for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. That money ain't escaping.
Right.
It's gonna come back.
It's going right back. Yep.
And again, Jake appetite when he gets ready. You know how Jake is. We all a victim of it. You want to spend that cheese, man. You're gonna give it right back. Right? Niggas sign a $300 million contract, whatever, some crazy stuff. What are you gonna do? There you go, small hat.
And that's the whole point of. And that's why we say to hell with reparations, because Juneteenth was talking about certain states bringing up the topic of giving reparations back to the so-called blacks. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, you're just gonna give it right back.
Exactly.
The reparations we need is the prophecies.
Exactly. Remember that Dave Chappelle skit? You already know. Cadillac sales went up, watermelon.
You had a whole box of Newports in the back.
They can give it back in one day. That's why again, the Lord gotta come back. Yeah, playing dice. He paying the richest nigga on the world because of dice game. Yeah, but it's true, There's truth in comedy, and that shit is true, man.
He said, this your son? I just bought this child.
No, that's true. But yeah, but that's how he operates. He'll put you in hope.
Yeah.
What was Mr. Obama's slogan?
Yeah, hope.
He uses your zeal against you, man.
Right.
Because y'all getting treated wrong and getting taken advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Jake is so quick to take any type of deal. Because again, we don't know your history, where you come from.
Mm-hmm.
You think where you at as a come up. Shit, we just came up with ships. But you know how much history you're missing?
Right.
You just spawned, you was always baboons,
right.
booty scratching, all that shit. And then Esau came,
right.
civilized you. You was kings, man.
That's right. And there's a side note, with Gad and Reuben and the tribes that are over here. You ever go into these pictures? A lot of these pictures and things they show you is Gad and Reuben and tribes naked as hell. And it's in the dead of winter,
right.
But you got clothes on. You know what I'm saying? We civilized you, nigga. When you was over there in Europe, who civilized you? The Moors, but they were Israelites. Cleaned you up, shaved your damn back. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. It's become his story. He made it up, man. Because that's what happens. You suffer loss. Now who writes the story is he who won, man. Esau's writing his own story, but guess what? That rhetoric and agenda is being pulled apart, man. Because again, truth always stands, man. Apostle Ramlan always makes the analogy about pushing a ball down. Eventually, the pressure. This place.
That dude like your height. You see that shit?
That's what I'm saying.
Ugh.
Drag
That shit's scary, man.
But this is what happens when wickedness is in authority, man. The land of confusion. There's nothing glorious about so-called America. The only reason why we're here is because of prophecy. And the only reason why America so-called is in its glory because
you
Jake,
can say that, bro. Yeah.
Jake is keeping this thing going.
Yeah, it's not bad.
But not to get off the topic, go ahead.
Okay.
Whatever.
About you finished?
I think he's done.
Yeah, I think I am. Yeah.
I had a little bit more.
Yeah, it's like it. Yeah.
Isaiah 32:6. For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy, and to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail.
Yep. So again, and him saying error to the Lord, meaning it's science, man. It's GMOs, right? God did it wrong, so to say.
Yeah.
The better way is technology, science, tech. you're saying the Lord made a mistake, you know? And again, going to these devils, how proud they are, they do stuff and think the Lord not going to do nothing about it.
Right.
We can make it rain, we can cause earthquakes, we can put poison in the water. God ain't going to do nothing, you know? That's how they think, man. You know, and that's how they operate. But again, the turning the tables, man, the Lord going to do something, man.
Right, think about it. You know, scriptures say, you know, roughly paraphrasing, you know, just changing your stature is small power. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I saw that article popped up again. That dude that made himself taller. You know what I'm saying? He was like 5'5", now he's like 6'2" or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's small stuff. You know, what's the guy? Simon or Simeon something. The dude from Africa that they took on the plane. You know what I'm saying? They butchered him up.
Was it
That's Simeon Tico.
Tico, yeah. You know, and then he formed himself back together and came back on the plane. You ever heard about that? Bro, I got, yo.
The actual recording.
Yeah. And it was like, you know, he was like, no matter what you do, it's going to be many more of us that come. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you got to watch.
I think I seen a clip that they took his heart out and everything.
He said, your hatred for me is so strong, I have to go, or something like that.
Yeah. Because he was healing people in Africa.
Yeah.
And it was like, who is this guy? We got to, you know what I'm saying? You know, because, you know, the devil's going through, you know, poisoning, you know, deleting everybody. And it was like, you know, you got to meet this guy. And they took him out. You know what I'm saying? But I lost train of thought while I brought that out, man. You know, you were saying something, but my mind be going so damn fast, man. It's like it.
Oh, those will come back.
Yeah.
Isaiah 32:7, the instruments also of the churl.
Oh, yeah, it's like it. You know, the technology is the way.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Esau's not, you know what I'm saying, butcher somebody up and they putting themselves back together. No, you know what I'm saying? That's not happening. That's the power of the Lord is going to install in his men. You know.
Exactly. And then even with the science so-called, it always goes back to the earth.
Yep.
All the stuff you use, your technology, rare earth minerals, you know, your power comes from the field, man. You know, so how could you not honor the Lord? You didn't make none of this stuff, man. You just came and spawned on here. You didn't know how your spirit got called upon your body, man. You know? But again, it goes into pride, man. But this man wants to have you think that he's the one that, you know, is in control.
Right.
And he's not. Right?
Isaiah 32:7.
Yeah, he trying to remix it too.
Yeah.
That's probably Jake dropping that.
Yeah. Isaiah 32:7.
Ice King Chuck.
The instruments also of the churl are evil. He devises wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right.
Yeah, exactly. Making an offender for a word, right? If this world was about truth, you know, then he would come out front about who he is, man, and what he got going on. And going back to the point, he wants to hide himself. Going to his instruments, you know, ultimately goes into his devices, man.
Yep.
You know, how this man operates, you know, his smooth tricks, you know, to get you to lay down, man, to disarm you. So pretty much let him run you over, man. You know, a lot of how he got so far is because most people just laid down for him. You know, because again, ultimately the Lord is dealing with this devil on a level. But again, going to Yahweh Shem Shai, he's gonna show you that you're just a man. You know, just like he did with Pharaoh.
This is Jeremiah 23:24. Can any hide himself in secret places that I shall not see him? Saith the Lord. Do not I fill heaven and earth? Saith the Lord.
Yep. So his presence, meaning filling heaven and earth, means everywhere. You know, no matter. And King David said that. Psalm 139. You know, how's it go? Whether shall I go from thy spirit? You know, from thy presence, wherever you go, the Lord's there, man. You know. So again, going to that's especially when you fear the Lord, it's just common sense. You know, the Lord sees everything you're doing, right? Doesn't matter what you do. You can have some kind of force field, whatever. The Lord can see it, man, because He knows your thoughts.
That's funny. I got a precept with King David. You know, it wasn't that one, but it's King David speaking. No, whenever you finish, you know what I'm saying?
But that was the point, yeah. Can anybody hide himself? Meaning,
right.
I feel heaven, but again, the Lord is everywhere. He fills heaven and earth, meaning everywhere you go, the presence of the Lord is there. You know, the Lord said he does good, he does evil. Right? If there be evil in the city, the Lord have done it. You know? If someone got healed and delivered, the Lord did it, man.
That's right.
You know? So again, you being brought down to desolation, Yahweh Shai is going to do that because he sees you, man. He's telling you what you're going to do before you do it. Revelation 13 chapter came out thousands of years ago, literally, man. And you're doing that right now.
Yep.
Right? Because now you have the so-called power to do so. That's that snare, man.
Right.
You know, you're thinking you figure some shit out, man. You know, it's ultimately that slippery slope. Once that MOTV gets made mandatory, which you have to put forth in order to fulfill that agenda, the NWO, nukes on, man. You know, so ultimately checkmate.
Right. I got something real quick. This Psalms 59 and 1. It says, I'm gonna read through it kind of quick. Some of them start here. Yep, it says Psalms 59 and 1. King David speaking. It says, deliver me from my enemies, O my power. Defend me from them that rise up against me. Deliver me from the workers of iniquity, and save me from bloody men.
Exactly. Again, going to this devil, how sick and twisted he is.
Right.
He don't give a damn about nothing, man. He don't care about you marching. He don't care about the birds. He don't care about the fish in the sea.
Yep.
This man don't give a damn about nothing but fulfilling his agenda.
Yep.
You know, he'll step on anybody to get what he got accomplished. And he doesn't even know why he's doing it. You know, he'd be up at night trying to question himself. Why am I so crooked? You know, fuck it. I'm just gonna, fuck it. You know, that's what he do. He say, fuck it, whatever. I'm gonna be me, right? Because he has no choice. The Lord made him a crooked serpent.
That's right.
Even if he wanted to be righteous, he just can't. He just can't. You know?
Yep. Verse 3. Yep. It says, for lo, they lie in wait for my soul. It says, the mighty are gathered against me, not for my transgressions, nor for my sins, not for my transgressions.
Right. We not catching, hell, especially when persecution comes because we being evil, you know?
Right.
It's because he knows that we're the Lord's chosen, man. You know? And also because his works are evil.
Yep.
He's guilty, man. You know? That's why he wants to destroy the righteous, because he know he's not right. What?
Yep. They made me think about then, he should be like madmen, sparing none. It says, verse 3, nor for my sins, O Lord.
Yeah, exactly. Madmen spare none. Esau been on that, man.
Yep.
He been on that, ripping Jacob apart.
Yep.
The Levi jeans, say the logo. Tom Jacob together and having slap the horse on the ass and get pulled apart.
Ooh.
He been on that, man. Again, when we told earlier, he has not hated blood. He has all type of sick ways to get you. He'll microwave you to death. Your brain just turned to juice. You on the couch watching TV.
Yeah, we in a microwave now.
Yeah, we in a microwave now. All this technology getting radiated. You got Wi-Fi. What shit is happening to you, man?
Yeah.
And frequencies all day getting hit with it.
And just forget about having a weaker vessel in the crib. She bugged the hell out. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Exactly. And imagine when he finds out that he's not going to fulfill that agenda, man.
Yeah.
Revelation 12 and 12. You know? Exactly. He's going to rage. And that's what we need protection from.
Yep.
Because right now, he's still going to play along a little bit, man. Them devils, they hate you.
Yep.
That's your job. They got that look. You driving around, you're walking around the street, just know that devil just got disdain for you. He biting down on his jaw, but he got to play his part. When the time comes, hey, the Lord going to send this devil on you jakes, man. Because you want to trust in him, you want to play his game, you want to act like him, talk like him.
Yep.
You can't beat him, join him, that weak ass spirit, And the Lord gonna show you why you're supposed to not trust this devil, man. And again, you're gonna remember that them so-called crazy men on the corner was telling you, man. They were looking out the whole time, man.
That's right. Hey, the scripture say when your ways please the Lord, he shall make your enemies to be at peace with you. You know?
Yep.
And we hoping to be some of those men.
Exactly. And even though Esau joined to the elites, it says he shall make war of the remnant, the seed that keep his commandments. He has a certain respect for us because why? Because we're the only people standing up against him, man. You Jake's been bent over.
Yep.
Paid and bought for.
What movie was that? Was that Planet of the Apes? When the Blanco gorilla tried to be good at the end.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What did you say?
It was
Rampage?
no, not Rampage. But it reminded. It ended up deleting them. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, good to me. You know what I'm saying?
Ready Joe Young?
No,
Like
it was Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, but it was another movie that reminded me of that too, though. Cause
I gotta look it up.
I mean, we ain't got to, but it just made me think about it. But like, no one likes a traitor.
Oh, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Esau hates us, like you said. He respects what we're doing in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Just want to land back off you.
Yes, that's true.
Read a little more.
Yep.
It says, verse 4, Psalms 59:4, it says, they run and prepare themselves without my fault, awake to help me, and behold, therefore, it says, thou therefore, O Lord, power of hosts, the power of Israel, awake to visit all the heathen. Be not merciful to any wicked transgressor, Salah.
Yep. And again, that's what we're crying for the Lord to do, man. Because again, this devil not going to stop until he stops.
Yeah, wait,
right?
yeah, he was like on the human side.
Yeah, he sold out.
Yeah, he sold out. Then at the end, he tried to be good, but it was too late. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Yeah. That's going to be you, Jakes, that took that seat here. You did everything you were supposed to do. You did everything and the devil said for you to do. You followed all the rules, you know? A good old boy, you know? and guess what's going to happen? You're going to get hit with missiles, man. Them green zones you thought was safe, they're going to be the worst parts to be in, man. You know, with looters and all type of craziness, man. Because nowhere on the earth is going to be safe, especially not in so-called America, man, when all hell breaks loose. You know? But that's what you get, man. You know?
Yep. Jumping down, we got 2 more verses.
Yep.
Psalms 59 and 8. It says, but thou, O Lord, shalt thou laugh at them. Thou shalt have all the heathen in derision. Because of his strength will I wait upon thee, for Yahweh is my defense.
And that's what we bank on.
Yep.
We're not grabbing arms and trying to fight a carnal fight with the most carnal man on earth, man.
Right.
We're going to fight spiritually, man. We're going to trust in our power, you know? By obedience, the Lord going to come back and turn, you know, onto this devil, you know? Because why? Because, again, we trust in him. You know? We're not, again, trying to find our own way around, okay? The curses and all. We just got to deal with it, man.
Right.
You know? Because, again, why? Yahweh Shai said he's going to come to deliver those that will call upon his name, man. You know? Not just the name, calling on it, but doing what he said to do, man.
That's right.
You know? In a world full of all type of distractions, evil, wickedness, we chose to fear the Lord, man. And right now, it looks like we're losing, but come on, man. That's why bless he that endure to the end, man. You know?
This is Isaiah 41:14. Fear not thy worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel.
Yeah.
I will help thee, saith the Lord, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel.
Yeah, it's a small thing for the Lord to intervene, man. He's just going according to the script.
Yeah.
You don't think the Lord, like we watch a movie, you can't really do much about it, but you get into it. It's like, damn, I want to help that guy, man.
Right.
You know, and obviously the Lord got the power to do so, man. The insignificant, the humble, the meek, you know. The Lord's gonna be moved with compassion with his people. And he's gonna make a way for them to escape, man. Because why? Because again, Yahweh Shai is gonna be honored in his saints, man. Especially when he makes that way, man. You know, when the Lord says lift up a standard, again, the Lord's gonna make an example, man.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna get privately delivered, man, on spaceships.
Brother, got a piece up?
Yep.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55 and verse 16. As for me, I will call upon my power, and the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, shall save me. Evening and morning and at noon will I pray and cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice. He hath delivered my soul in peace from the battle that was against me, for there were many with me.
So the Lord always constantly delivering his servants, man. He said his ears upon those that call upon him, man. You know, those that fear him. The Lord hears them. Imagine that. Again, who's going to how far the Lord is, right? But he's near unto those that are of a broken and contrite spirit, man. That trembleth at his word, you know? Because that's the power of Yahweh Shai. He's honored in the lowly, man. People that are of no rank. The so-called underdog story, those are the best stories, man.
Yep.
You know? Because why? Because you can relate, you know? Being not counted for, counted out. That's why it says in Hosea, the 1st chapter, the 10th verse, and land where it said, you're not my people, there shall be said, you are the people of the Lord. Not because we're going to have a debate about it.
Right.
We're going to debate to death. No, because the Lord is going to intervene. He's going to show you who is chosen him, man. And when he comes and delivers with his right hand, man, being Yahweh Shai.
You know, you would think when, you know, Putin showed those Russian icons and things of that nature, that Jake still would have, you know, somewhat been woken up, but Jake just, you know, Jake don't give a damn, man. They're so saturated in the Babylon juice, man. But I got something for you. Would you finish, Rob?
Yep.
Let's get back on this nigga, man. Isaiah 63. It says, who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save.
Yep. So talking about Yahushua, right? He saves, he delivers. You know, I that speak righteousness, mighty to save. Save who? The Lord's chosen, man, his sheep. You know, the grape of that cluster, the elect. You know,
Right.
Again, going to the Lord returning. This is the only man that the Lord personally came or is going to come and deal with, man.
Yep.
Out of all the nations, of all the evil that's been done on earth, the Lord's coming now to deal with this devil, man.
Right.
You know? Coming from his place to come down and judge those that are on the earth, man, for their wickedness.
Yep.
Led by who? None other than Esau, Edom, the stroke of white man. Right? He has the power overnight to change this thing if it was in his bone to do so, being Esau. He has all the money, all the influence, he has all the attention, right? To turn his place, you know, in righteousness, man. But he's not.
Right.
Because he's a man of sin, he's being revealed, man. You know?
Go ahead. Isaiah 63 and 2 says, Where art thou red in thy apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat? I have treaded the winepress alone, and of the people there were none with me.
Exactly. So the Lord, he's gonna be on a kill streak, man. You know? He don't need nobody to help him. You know? Of course, he's coming in the glory of his strength, going to the angels, but the Lord can do it himself, man. You know? He's just here to make a statement.
Yep.
You know? But again, none with him, meaning ain't nobody messing with him, man.
Right.
You know? When he pulls up, he's coming to make war. He's not gonna come sit at the G20 summits, right, and talk about, you know, what should be done, man.
Right.
You're already being told what should be done.
Old
man.
school. It's been some years. Yeah. Old school.
Yeah. And again, the Lord, he's not gonna be touched. It's just symbolic. The Lord
Right.
gonna be clean. He's not gonna, because blood makes you unclean. He's not gonna be on his garment, man.
Right.
You know? But it's ultimately just symbolic that the Lord is gonna do a lot of killing. Explain the Lord shall be many. You know?
I got a precept for you.
Yep.
It's Revelation 19 and 2. It says, For true and righteousness are his judgments. For he have judged the great whore, which did corrupt the whole earth with her fornication, and have avenged the blood of his servants at her hand.
Yep. And it said judge, meaning it's already happened, man.
Right.
You know, we're just waiting to fulfill it in physical time. But the Lord already judged the great whore, man, so-called America. This place is condemned. There's no turning back. There's no Nineveh repenting again, you know, however many years after to prolong the rulership. No, man.
Right.
When the Lord says enough is enough, enough is enough, man. We're about that cup being full, man. You know, a few things here and there, all right, and boom, man, it's gonna be over with.
Yep.
You know, because again, Yahweh Shai is not holding his tongue no more, touching their wickedness. He let Esau get to the point where he is right now. It's like he built up Pharaoh so he can judge him and let the Lord's name be made famous on the earth again.
Right.
You know.
He got a bandana around the dog of the flag.
Oh.
So not a dog is, you know what I'm saying?
Not a dog, A-by-D-G-A-Y. And that's what the wicked part about it is. You see a rainbow, you think of that.
That's sad, yeah.
But that's not what it's about.
Exactly.
That's the covenant the Lord made with the earth, that bow that He's
Yep.
going to flood the earth with water. Remember?
That's right.
But now they prefer everything that's good, man.
Yep.
You know, and you think it's off.
Yep.
But that's what it's going to say. Woe to them that call good evil and evil good.
So back in, I'm gonna finish these two real quick. So back in Isaiah 63 and 3, it says, I have tread in the winepress alone of the people, there was none with me, for I will tread them in my anger and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment.
Yep.
For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeem is coming. It's coming.
It's going to be messy, man.
Yep.
It's going to be messy, right? And again, the Lord has to clean this place of all the stuff that's going to be a byproduct of this day, man. You know, all the death, all the pestilence, you know, all the nastiness, right? All the blood. Fire's going to clean all that up, man. You know, the Lord said, behold, I make everything anew, right? A new heavens and a new earth, meaning refreshed. Who knows how long this earth can be burning, man? You know, specifically so-called America and wherever these missiles touch place at, but it's going to do something to the earth, man. You know, that's the power of the Lord, man. Something so wicked and evil as a nuclear missile is going to be used for righteousness, man. You know, to clean the earth, you know, to cleanse it, to restart it.
Yep.
That's the power of the Lord, man. You know.
I got something else for you. This is Numbers 35 and 33. So shall ye not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed. therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
Yep. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth, man.
Yep.
That's fair judgment, man. You take my eye, I take your eye. You take my tooth, I take your tooth. You shed my blood, I shed your blood, man.
Yep.
Right? And again, the Lord's gonna lead that charge, man. All we gotta do is throw hands up and put curses on. It's already happening, man.
Yeah.
You know? The Lord gonna come as a mighty terrible one for us, man. Think about any superhero movie. The superhero comes in the nick of time.
Yep.
You know, the lady in the stretch falling up the building. Ah! Superman come. Whoop, whoop.
Yep.
That's gonna be us and Yahweh Shai, man. Right before it's looking like it's over, the Lord gonna come in and he gonna pull up, man. Just imagine that, man. That's why let's see that has eyes to see, man.
Yep.
And ears to hear that vision. Just imagine looking up in the sky now and you see charity, a fathership, just you know. And he's coming for you, man.
Yeah, I remember my woman had a dream early in the truth, and she was like, "Yeah, I had a dream. We was running, you know, the kids was with us, and we had a baby." And I was like, "Baby?" I said, "At the time we didn't have no baby." You know what I'm saying? So she was like, "He was like, you know, follow me." And I opened this door, and she's like, it was a chariot, like walk up level, right there behind the door. You know, then a few years later, we didn't have a baby. You know what I'm saying? But it made me think about that.
Yeah. There's a reason, man.
Yeah.
Lord put spirits, you know, our lives, our children, and people that, you know, so-called in the world see things. The Lord put His Spirit upon our flesh, and so that ultimately can say that He did it, man. He told you so, man. You know?
Sons and daughters shall prophesy.
Yep.
That's the presence of the Lord drawing out on the earth, man. You know?
I got that. Isaiah 66 and 15. This book Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire.
Yep. So again, going to the day of the Lord, which you people love putting off. You know? Or you'll say some dumb shit like, the Lord ain't come back in my time. You might be able to pass that, you know, that saying maybe years ago, you know, times of your auntie and grandma, right? But this ain't the time where you're talking about the Lord he ain't coming back in my generation, man.
Yeah.
It's that time we're in right now.
My brother told me that. You know, he said, I can see these things happening. I get it, but it ain't gonna be to like our kids. I was like,
right. And they'll say that like they get a free pass. Like, I got time to be a nigga. I got time. I think this when the Lord gonna come. I got this. But like, no, man. And it's gonna be the same people that's trying to ask and beg, you know, to be on our so-called good side, man. You know. That's how it always is, man. Until there's no remedy, then Jake want a remedy.
Yep.
Help me. Nigga, whole leg cut off on fire in the car of a Tesla. It's too late, man. The Lord ain't gonna come down like he did with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They were just gonna cook, man. What Zay say? You're gonna turn the chicken again.
All right. Hey, look, Romans 15 and 4. That was written for our learning.
Isaiah 66 and 16. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many.
Exactly. So the Lord telling you cut and dry, man. How when he comes back, he never said I'm gonna come back happy.
Right.
I'm gonna come back so-called peaceful. The Lord want all the drama, man. He want all the pressure. He want all the issues. You know? Where's these niggas that said I'm God on the earth? Who's this guy? Who's, you know? These new Ferraris and the swabs and, you know? Where y'all at, man?
Yeah.
In them bunkers, shaking, booping on themselves, on the plane, hurt, flying, trying to get up out of there. They got movies like that. It was a American Horror Story, man.
Yep.
You know, when all hell broke loose, everybody on their phone like, what's happening? Motherfuckers on the G7, flying because they know, man.
Yep.
They know.
We got something that said that.
Yep.
It's Isaiah 13 and 1. So the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see.
Yep, a burden is something you gotta carry. You gotta deal with this, man. You know? So-called America is prime prep for destruction, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you're on borrowed time, man. So hey, live it up, man. Keep believing in the lie, man. It's gonna be your ass in that day.
Like, think about it. Women don't want to be women. Men don't want to be men.
Right.
No one wants to have children anymore.
Nope.
You know, people becoming lovers of themselves. Things that, you know, the scripture go into.
Yep. Signs of the end, man.
Yeah.
Days of Noah. This is literally instant replay of the days of Noah. But now niggas got Wi-Fi and phones and stuff, and Mustangs.
Yeah.
But,
Yep. Isaiah 13:2. Lift ye up the banner upon the high mountain.
yep.
Exalt the voice them. Shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles.
Yep. And that's what we're doing, man. That banner is the Bible.
Yep.
The word. You know, we're going to the gates of nobles because guess what? We got the internet, man. You know, we ain't going up to directly these off-grid locations where they have their meetings, all type of weird stuff. You think Epstein Island, which that was a whole style, man. Where's the list at?
Right.
That's a whole, it's a whole deal. But again, going to the point that we're able to talk to the nobles and get their attention because he sees us, man. They watch, they get the report. That's why they're worried, man.
Yep.
They're trying to push stuff to ultimately get us off the corners. Because they know that we're the only people that so-called have this truth, man. People got pockets, they might know a few things. They might be actually in the industry where they're doing the evil at, so-called whistleblowers. But the bigger picture, they don't have the bigger picture, man.
That's right.
Because it gets too spooky outside that, man. We talk about the Lord come back and again, how he's coming back, so-called alien invasion. You lost me with that, man. But that's why, again, the Lord's only dealing with the faithful, man.
That's right. Yep. Isaiah 13:2, it says, verse 3. I have commanded and sanctified ones, have I also called my mighty ones, for my anger, even them that rejoice in my highness.
Yep.
It says the noise angels.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Of course, the angels.
Okay.
You can say his men too.
Yep.
The prophets. His mighty ones. The Lord said, "Get me onto the great men." Right. He sanctified them and he separated them. Right. He sent them out. So we're just doing what we're commanded to do.
Right.
There ain't nothing of our whim and our strength is of Yahweh Shai, man, that we're telling you this.
That's it. Verse 4 says, the noise of the multitude in the mountains, light as a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustered the host of the battle.
Yep. And going to the word muster is a military term. It means to gather together the troops, man.
Yep.
These alliances, right? As the saying goes, enemy of my enemy is my friend. The Muslim world coming together, the Sunnis and whatever the hell the other group is, even though they so-called hate each other, because their common enemy is Esau, man. And what they got? Pakistan, they got nuclear missiles, man. And they might not directly shoot a missile over there in Israel. They'll pass some bitches over to Iran.
Right.
Ain't nothing for that, because they have a common interest. Who's the problem in that region, man?
Right. And the land back off you, like you quoted Revelation 6. The scripture said he was created to take peace from the earth. Are these other nations not on the earth? So they're feeling the effects, not as much as us, but they are feeling the effects of no peace with this man around. Even his own people realize that they're the problem, man.
Yep. That's true.
Yep. Verse 5, would you finish your statement? Yep. Isaiah 13:5, they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation.
Yep. Again, these missiles, man. Especially in the time frame that these so-called missiles arrive, how is that able, to be done is again through this missile technology, man.
Right.
This prophecy is talking about now, man. They ain't talking about ancient Babylon. Nations coming from a far country. Ancient Babylon was taken out in a coup.
Right.
We did in Daniel's 5th chapter, man. It's talking about the virgin daughter of Babylon being so-called America.
Yeah.
So now, again, with modern warfare, was 5th gen warfare, misinformation, all type of stuff with missiles, man.
Yep.
And now a lot of these missiles, they're all automated. You really need human input, man. It's all to fulfill the will of Yahweh Shai, man. There's nothing good gonna come from this. It might dissipate, this whole Iran thing. It might kind of fizzle out. How it happens. Comes in hard. News headlines. They push an agenda. Boom, boom, boom. Iran, boogeyman, bad. Right? To try to push away blame. That's what he does, man. Why he's pushing legislations, Trump executive orders, signing stuff. That's not gonna make major headlines, man.
Right.
C-SPAN, they talk about certain things. Nobody watches that shit, but they'll watch the NBA Finals.
Right.
But when the fate of your future lies in these so-called groups of people coming together, that most of them, their input, you never voted for these people, man.
Right.
Like these, like Elon Musk, these guys. Like, who are these guys, man?
Right.
These unelected officials, but they run your existence, man. Because the elites, they allow them to do so, man.
I just find it funny because it's funny you said something about the NBA Finals. The other day I was like, dang, is the finals over with yet? I remember catching game one part of it, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, they extending that shit out because they want to what? Keep the bread and circus going.
Exactly.
Because they control.
Exactly.
It could have been over in game 4. They could have had a sweep. But, you know, they want to keep the people, you know.
Distracted.
Yeah.
They're making money. Oh,
Yeah.
it's big bank, man.
I
It's
forgot
all
about
money,
that.
man.
Yeah.
Devils.
Reading on, Jeremiah 13:5, it says, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land.
Yep. Weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land.
Yep.
Not just some of it, the whole thing. You know? Because all the nations that have bows, says in Jeremiah, all you that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, everything. You got it? Got something else?
Yeah, I got something on it.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, this Jeremiah 50 and 25. It says, the Lord hath opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons for his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord, power of hosts in the land of the Chaldees.
The land of Chaldees going to the elites, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the wise men. You know, those that again who are in power, man. It's for again starting on top, on down, man. It's going to trickle down, man. Because again, this is the wrath of Yahweh Shai talking about the arsenal, his armory.
Armory, yeah.
You know, going through. Man, what's the tool for the job?
Right.
You know, missiles, man. That's the only reason why these things are here is to be used.
Yeah.
You know, some people actually believe that they don't exist. It's just a scare tactic. It might have been for a season, but best believe these nations have missiles, man, and they're going to use them.
That's right.
Because why? This is the wrath of the Lord to destroy the whole land. There's no other device on earth that can do that, man.
That's right. You know, you made me think about Kingsman when they like towards the end. I don't know, the first one, or the second one, when you opened up the armory.
Oh, yeah.
And all those weapons, like you know. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna start up and read down a little bit. This, Jeremiah 50 and 23 says, "How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become desolate among the nations?"
Yep. Again, you're going to a hammer. How eventually it'll break. It's over time.
Yep.
You know, it becomes weaker and weaker and weaker. You know, until that hammer gets swung and it busts, man.
Yep. Shatters.
It shatters, exactly. And that's what's gonna happen when Esau is gonna try to swing the hammer one more time, and it ain't gonna work, man. Because why? Because you got Russia, you got Iran, you got China, you got all these nations coming together, BRICS nations, right? Some of it's controlled opposition, man. But it's gonna be a point where it's gonna happen is these elites are gonna know they lost control of the narrative, man. And that's what they fear, man. People figuring out what's gonna happen, or some kind of mishap. The Lord, they had footage of the missiles getting shot off over there in Iran and Israel. You had chariots over there, man. You know, anything can happen, man. Some so-called freak accident. Again, going to how a lot of these technologies are unmanned. Right. They're all ran by AI algorithms. So what if AI shit glitch? It's over with.
Oh.
One missile fly, they all flying, man.
Right.
We also got that dead man switch, right? But there was an earthquake over there in Iran. People were saying it might have been a bomb. Whatever. We're not gonna get into that stuff, but best believe when you're gonna know, man. You're not gonna be, I think, no speculation. It's gonna be real deal.
Right.
A third woe, you know. And this shall be with burning through the fire.
That's right. But you also made me think about the angels holding back the 4 winds.
Oh yeah.
You know, so the Lord, the Lord can control everything, man. You know.
Exactly. So that's how we know it's not time yet.
Right.
It's not by and by. Rumors of wars. You're gonna know it's JT. Of course, MOTB got to be made mandatory.
Right.
But again, we're one small mishap, one misunderstanding from this thing being over. That's how fragile this earth is right now.
Yep.
This bullshit.
Yep. Jeremiah 50 and 24. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art taken, O Babylon.
Yep.
And thou wast not aware, thou art found, and art also caught, because thou strived against the Lord.
Yep. So the Lord got you, man.
Yep.
Checkmate. And you don't see what's coming. You don't see that blow coming.
Right.
And that snare is, again, you trying to fulfill that end of your agenda, man. You see the cheese, but you don't see the trap.
Right.
You make that thing mandatory, it's over with, man.
Yep.
It's gonna turn real sour, right? Because why? Because you're striving against the Lord, your maker, man. That's a bad bet to place, man.
Right.
Trying to fight against the Creator. That's madness, man. But his algorithms, his math, he believes in that, man. It's a formula called inevitability. Meaning something is bound to happen. That's how he operates, man. He only deals with 100% perfection. That's how the devil works. It's deep. So to a point, he's on point, man.
Yeah.
But again, the Lord is going to throw that monkey wrench, man. It's going to topple itself. He didn't equate the return of the Lord in his equation. He didn't equate the man of the Lord waking up. he didn't think that was possible.
Right.
You know, his confidence is being rooted from it. That's why, again, you see people running around the word scared. He's scared, man.
Right.
But,
Yep. Verse 25 it says, "The Lord hath opened his armory and hath brought the weapons of his indignation for this work of the Lord of hosts in the land of Chaldeans. Come against her from the uttermost border, open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left." All right. So let nothing be left, man. All what the Lord, the armory, everything's gonna be let loose, man. You know. Old school.
yep,
Getting old too.
Nah, man, you ain't old, man.
My next birthday, I'll be 70.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, looking good, man. Looking good. It says, that was pretty much the point. Yeah.
and again, and this is the purpose of the Lord. The Lord, he has no intent on so-called extending America's rulership, man. Again, going back to 250 years,
Yep.
you know, the average length of empires, right? You might go past it a little bit, but again, it's about averages, the law of averages. Meaning, matter of fact, Google it real quick, the law of averages. Everything that will happen is going to happen. So we're paraphrasing.
Right.
You know, dealing with numbers, right? Eventually, kingdoms fall. It's only a matter of time. This shows the law of averages. You know? And again, the Lord told you straightforward that this wasn't happening, right?
This is a Google definition. It says the principle that supposes most future events are likely to balance any past deviation from a presumed average.
Yep. So again, it's all about averages, you know? Meaning, again, what's going to happen is most likely going to happen. And what's that? The fall of so-called America, right? Just like all the ancient kingdoms before, they thought they're going to be in power forever. They try to form alliances and have some new age BS, right? And it all fell on his face, man. Because Yahweh Basham Shah ruled from the kingdom of men, right? And the Lord is really going to make an example, just like he did with Sodom and Gomorrah, right? About those who choose to live ungodly, man, to make wickedness a standard. It's gonna end with fire, man. You know.
I got something about this. This is
I got
second
something
Esdras.
too. I want to get on this nigga.
This is second Esdras chapter 16 and verse 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world.
What? Again, going to ancient technology. Maybe you're out of space or something. You shoot an arrow, but most time arrows fall back to the earth, right? They don't go that far. You know, you might be able to stretch a few, 100 yards, whatever. But after that, it's very inaccurate. You know, but these missiles, they're GPS guided. They got heat-seeking missiles, all type of stuff, man. Missiles that can maneuver mid-air, going supersonic, all type of speeds you can't even fathom. You think you're going fast, going 120. Missiles going 10,000 miles an hour. That's the speed. Speed sounds like 700 something. So what times that by 20?
Yeah.
And then you got to think about it. When they show you those videos of Esau's military shooting at the chariots, imagine how quick. You know what I'm saying? It's like if what they got is beyond quick and fast. Imagine, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. The Lord's bad, man.
Yeah.
You know, and the Lord really gonna show this devil up, man. You know, just like we're gonna do it too, man. When the Lord gives us power, we're gonna do miracles.
Yeah.
The Spirit power of Yahweh Shai said we're gonna do greater works. Right? Just going back to Moses and Aaron and what are they called? Magites, magicians.
Yeah.
You know, they got showed up, man. You know, oh, you can walk, just put a chip in you.
Right.
His back still hurt. You know, but a man that maybe been blind from his birth, couldn't see, couldn't walk, he gonna walk, man. In the name of Yahweh Shai, it's simple, man.
Yep.
You know, all this so-called science, technology, weirdo stuff, man. Putting brains in your head, brain chips in your head, man. Right? You're not supposed to be doing stuff like that. And the Lord gonna show the devil love, man.
Yeah.
That's something.
This where it says the average Mach speed of a ICBM is Mach 20 or more.
Mach 20. That means times the speed of sound 20 times.
It's over 15,000 miles per hour.
15,000
Can't
miles per hour. That's absurd. But that's why Revelation 18 chapter. So big riches come to naught, man. And one day, all this amount of wealth this devil has accumulated and evil, number of zeros the devil got in his account, He just show up. That's mine. Like I own the earth.
Yeah.
He don't got a bank account. He don't. Everything's his, man.
Yeah.
All that turned to nothing, man. It's gonna be on you, man.
I love that chapter.
The Lord gonna, he's gonna bring laser beams and he's gonna add a cherry on top, but you're gonna destroy yourself, with your so-called technology, which you don't have a defense for. How does that make any sense? You have this diabolical weapon that you can't stop.
Right.
You don't even know what the hell this bitch gonna do. You just on them computers, laboratory rats in there, numbers and theories. You don't know, man. And you have a weapon like that in existence. All the technology and energy you put, how about do something righteous? You can't because you're the wicked, man.
That's right.
So the Lord gonna use that against you, man. And you think that you just watch some so-called Hollywood movies, you think the earth gonna be done. Like, as powerful as those weapons are, the earth is still gonna be intact, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna rock to and fro, It's gonna be shaken up a little bit, but the earth is gonna last forever. And the Lord said it on nothing, man. The Lord said the earth is not, he didn't make it in vain, man. He made it to be inhabited.
Right.
Ultimately, for the elect, man. The earth was made for our sake.
You had something?
Yeah. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 27 and 26. Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that setteth a trap shall be taken therein.
And that's judgment. Think about with Mordecai and Haman.
Haman, yep.
All this energy you're doing to hang Mordecai on that rope, you got you and your sons hung, man.
Yep.
That's symbolic, man, for Esau, the Dukes of Edom, man.
Yep.
The ruling class of these devils, man. You doing all this evil to get Jake trapped up in a hole, in a box, all for you at the end to be done away with it. Just think about how frustrated this devil is. All the evil he's doing, Jake's still here.
Yep. And he's accusing us of the power too.
Exactly. Look at these niggas.
Right. Look at what Jacob is doing.
You sure you gave him?
Yeah.
He calls arrogance the Lord. He said he made a mistake.
Damn devils, man. Was that in that?
Sirach 27 and 27. He that worketh mischief, it shall fall upon him, and he shall not know whence it cometh.
Yeah, he that worketh mischief is going to fall upon him, man. All right? All the trickery, plots, and schemes that Esau Edom's coming with, it's going to fall right back on his head, man.
Yep. That's called judgment.
Yep.
Saying what goes around comes around. You're not gonna get away. Esau, he think he's gonna be undefeated forever. Just had this unblemished, record. Never took an L's. Which he going to his wars. He hasn't won a war since World War II. Every deployment he sent troops out on the ground has always been a failure, failed state. But it's because he just got out what he wanted.
Yeah.
He never wanted to so-called civilize, assimilate them into the real world. He wanted to take what's the resources, man.
Yep.
Now, this is Revelation 12 and 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of the Most High, and the power of his Mashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down. We can accuse them before our power day and night.
Yep, you go into the accuser, again, it's the devil does, man. Putting categories on Jake, black, whatever, man. And again, he does this all day, all night with his media. And the best people, he's doing them seances and stuff, that weirdo stuff. He crying on to the Lord, man. On the left hand side, saying, it's Satan boosting him up, you that nigga, Lord, he messed up. I'm saying? He chose you. But he thinks that again, the Lord he gonna change his mind. Like, damn, you got a case. Like he gonna supplant the Lord, man. You think he gonna go on the TV and lie your ass off, and the Lord gonna fall for it? No, man. All right. I think over time, people are just gonna forget. Rearrange history. You're gonna move the puzzle pieces, and ain't nobody gonna figure out what you've been doing. Come on. But accuse our brethren is cast down. Which accuse them day and night. This is what the devil does, man. And not just Esau, but other nations too, man. Psalm 83rd chapter, they come together, they're confederate to bring us down from an ecstasy. Everything is cool unless as long as Jacob's down the bottom, man.
Yep.
they be complaining about the same shit Jake been crying about for hundreds of years, man. Oh, it's not fair. Come on, duh.
Right.
You know, he did me wrong. He lied to me. He taking my money. I gotta pay taxes. I can't afford to live. You know. Jake been catching hell on that stuff, man. Especially Judah, man. Judah, they been, you know what I'm saying? They never get no slack. It was a couple weeks ago talking about what's this shit called? The new word? Black exhaustion.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They just tired of niggas.
Yeah.
You know? Jake is a fool, man. But this man is bombing and committing genocide as we speak, man.
Yeah.
And now y'all want to march. Oh, Ice Age. But northern tribes, now y'all northern tribes want to cry. We talking about a couple weeks ago. He's being mean to us.
Yeah.
Nigga, get your ass out here, man. He really doing you a favor.
Exactly.
You don't want to be here in so-called America. Basically, Mexico is bad, but why is Mexico bad? Look at this shit.
Yeah, man.
Shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even want. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But this place don't gotta go. Like that's okay. That's fine.
That's a walking abomination
That's
right there.
disgusting,
It's
man.
missile food.
Death. And that's one sinner. How much nasty this motherfucker do in one day?
Exactly.
That's just one. There's millions of them on this earth, man.
Serving your food, they're the boss of your job.
Yeah.
They smell funny.
They try to go, man. And that's not just us being mean, it's just being real, man. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
Motherfucker's wrong, it's off. Like all the stuff to do in the day, you want to wear 20-foot high heels
Right.
and wear a blue wig,
Blue dress.
blue dress.
Damn, man.
Someone told you to do that. Like,
Yeah.
That's that, you put that shit on. Like,
Yeah.
Satan,
It
man.
wouldn't surprise me if it was a nigga woman. Co-worker and shit. You know? You're gonna slay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. They'll encourage you. Like, you did. Oh, I bet you probably got like 50 copies.
Yo, he came through earlier. Somebody took a picture of him. Yeah.
Good close what you said.
Are they closed?
Yes, sir.
This is Job 20:5. It says, verse 4, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumph of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment?
Yep. So, hey, you had a good run, man. You did your thing, man. Esau, Edom. You know, you elite starting on down, man. You did your thing, man. You ran well. You know, you had your time. Did your thing in wickedness. Now it's over, man. You know, Proverbs 16:4, the Lord made all things for himself, even the wicked for that day of evil. Well, the day of evil, when it's over with, there's no more use for you, man.
Right.
You know? You were made an example. You were used. You know? And that's very demoralizing, but hey, that's your lot.
Yep.
But if you found in you, you would have repented. But you're not. All the stuff you're going to do on earth is the shit that people have to deal with because of you and your wicked decrees and the shit you push, right? All the hell they're going to catch because of you. You're not going to repent of that. You're not going to feel bad, especially when you did to Jake, man.
Right.
You're not going to feel bad, feel sorry, so cool. When the tables turn and it's your turn to get your ass whooped, you know, to get brought low, you put in chains and shackles, don't ask for mercy. Don't ask to dip your finger in the water.
Right.
None of that, man. So they say keep that same energy, man.
Right.
You know, you high and lofty now, but guess what? You're going to get put on your ass. You read Isaiah 47 chapter, man. And what are you going to do about it? Nothing, man. That's when we stand bold in the name of Yahweh Shah.
That's right.
You can put hands on us, do what you want, but you can't do nothing to him.
That's right.
The show going to continue, man. And again, you on borrowed time, enjoy while you can, rejoice and be glad. You know, your next 5, whatever, however long the Lord got this thing going. But it's only going to get worse for you. The pressure and all that, the demons. You know, think about Pilate's wife.
Yeah.
She was having nightmares.
Yeah.
Was Pilate, you know, it's up in there if it was a Jake or not.
Yeah.
But basically, they're being tormented, man.
Yeah.
But they have to do what they have to do, man. People say they're scared, yet there's fight, man. Call out Yahweh Shah for the victory, man. You know, we just got to continue on and keep pushing. The Lord, He's going to make a way for His chosen, man. Just got to believe.
Yep.
So with that, hey, Lord's word is edifying. Before we close, we want to give our praises to the Heavenly Father, it's owned by God and Son.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kahadash.
Once again to the elders and apostles of your stones. Peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.